Hello, my name is Chyna Young. I am a transgender woman who also happens to perform in drag, and my preferred pronouns are she, her.
Were there any signs or feelings in your childhood?
Throughout my childhood, I've always been a more feminine creature. When I was super, super young, I used, let's say 2, 3, 4, around that area, I would wear towels on my head, pretend it was hair, like super long hair, float around, wear towels like a dress, and oversized shirts, which, let's just say I've been a trendsetter, because that's a thing now.
When did you start questioning your gender? Was there an age, place, event?
Like I said, I've always been kind of attracted to the more feminine side of things, but it's never really became a question until, oh man, I want to say when I first initially asked myself, like, what am I? It was in middle school. I can't quite remember if it was 7th or 8th grade. I even remember as a child around 8, I was like crying in my bed, like, please God, make me a woman, like, please tomorrow, like, I want to be a woman. I used to cry at night, like, when I was super, super young, but I didn't know what transgender was.
How did you learn what being transgender was?
Yeah, around middle school, actually, when I was first questioning it, I was looking it up. I looked up to a lot of androgynous males, but a lot of them came out as transgender, like Steph. Yeah, but just in general, a bunch of androgynous YouTubers that I used to watch, they ended up being transgender, and I did my own little research into it around middle school when I was questioning myself.
Tell me about your favorite memory since identifying as trans.
My favorite memory ever since coming out as transgender was definitely when I got called ma'am for the first time, and I wasn't even wearing makeup, which kind of, like, whoa, because I usually have this thing where if I'm not wearing makeup, I don't feel like I'm a woman. Like, it's weird. Like, I feel like I use makeup as, like, an armor to make me look, to help me look like a woman, but I got called ma'am. I had my hair down, I had, like, sweats on and, like, a pink shirt, and I got called ma'am, and I was like, oh, shit, thank you, that felt good, that felt nice. That was definitely one of my favorite. Anytime being called ma'am is definitely one of my favorite times, or her, or, queen.
What is the first makeup item you remember wearing?
First makeup item, let's see, eyeliner, strangely. I was super into emo people, like Jeffree Star, Blood on the Dance Floor, like the whole emo thing, and that a huge thing with that was eyeliner. So I stole some eyeliner from my grandma, wore it to middle school, which, by the way, in middle school I lived in a really conservative, like, small town, so I want to say all eyes were on me at that moment, but I wore eyeliner to school, and it's evolved from there.
Tell me about the first time you ever cross-dressed.
Well, I've been wearing girly clothes or female clothing ever since I was super young. Like, when I was, like, in between, like, 3 to 6, maybe even 7, I wore skirts. My grandma used to buy them for me. So, I've worn them a lot. But the first time I ever wore it, like, as a older, more mature person was one of the last days of school freshman year. I wore a purple sparkly dress from my mother's closet because I was like, I'm just gonna wear a dress, like, why not? Wore that to school. Everyone looked at me. I got really mixed, like, reactions, but overall it felt neat. I was still, at that time, I was questioning myself, but I wasn't really thinking of it. So it was just kind of like, whoa, I'm wearing a dress. But I was more so thinking of what people were saying about me. So I was super insecure.
Who did you tell first, and what was their response?
I've come out as a lot of things. So I've come out as gay, I've come out as gender fluid, I've come out as a couple things before. But I've come out as transgender, firstly, to social media. I kind of just posted it online onto my Instagram and Facebook and all that jazz, because I had already been like super androgynous with my appearance before I had come out as trans. And after that, I sat down my family members and I was just like, hey, listen, I want to be called this. I want to go through with this. I prefer that you call me she now and all that. But first and foremost, I announced it to social media. Coming out as gay, when obviously I didn't know I was transgender, coming out as a gay boy, I had actually, I guess I kind of told my grandma. I was kind of like a little reluctant to tell her, but I had been posting stuff on Facebook regarding LGBT stuff. I had a fake boyfriend like a profile for a fake boyfriend that I created on Facebook. And I was talking to him on my timeline because, that's just pathetic. And my grandma confronted me and she's like, do you like boys? And I was like, yeah, grandma. And she wasn't like the most accepting of it. She's come around now. I formally sat my mom down and I was like, look, I'm gay. It was the very like typical like, oh, crying, tears down my face, like, Mom, I'm gay. And she was like, oh, I know. And I was like, what? So, I did formally sit my mom down for that. And my grandma kind of knew, but she was kind of in denial, so she didn't really tell anybody. After my mom, it just kind of spread, and I never really had to talk about it again. I've just been living my life ever since then.
What was the first conversation you ever had regarding your gender?
Well, that's super hard to pinpoint because I feel like I've had a few conversations. I mean, as a child, but not really knowing what transgender was, like me questioning why I had to wear specific things or do certain things. Like, I was a pretty woke child, to be honest. I was asking my grandma, like, why can women wear pants but I can't wear dresses? I was saying stuff like that, like, as, 8 years old. So, I've always been, vocal on why we're wearing what we're wearing. Why can't I wear this? Why can she wear that but I can't wear that?
How have your friends adjusted with things like pronouns?
With pronouns, that's still kind of tricky because my coming out has been relatively recent. It's been about 7 months. So, I mean, my workplace, I don't get called she, but that's just because I haven't really, brought it up because it's my workplace. I don't really want that to be there. But my actual friends, they've all adjusted to it pretty well. I mean, I've always been super androgynous with my parents, as I've said before, and I've been pretty, girly. So I feel like the transition to he to she really wasn't that hard for any of my friends. My parents, it has been very difficult for them, specifically my mother, because, I mean, I understand it. I've been their son for so many years. She's kind of getting used to the fact that I'm not her son anymore. It's been 18 years that she's had a son, but it's daughter and she. So she's still adjusting to it. She's not against the idea of transgenderism at all, trust me. But it's just getting used to the language. I totally get that, especially with family.
What was your first step into transitioning?
First step into transitioning, I haven't started any medical procedures yet. I haven't started hormones. I haven't started laser hair removal, any of that. But I've bought a lot of girl clothes and I've tried to make my voice more feminine. Even before coming out as trans, I was still into all the makeup, growing my hair long, being super androgynous. So when it comes to my appearance, it's always been gradually shifting towards female.
What other steps have you done, and are there any proud milestone moments?
My main milestone ever since coming out is just being comfortable wearing stuff out in public. I used to be so anxious wearing something even remotely feminine. I've been confident wearing stuff, whatever I want, outside in the public, without makeup on, with makeup on. My hair is growing pretty long, so I'm pretty happy about that. But overall, just having the confidence to wear what I want to wear and look however I want to look.
Did coming out notably affect your dating/sex life?
Funny story. About a couple days after I came out as trans, I got a boyfriend. So, So that happened. But I want to say, ever since being more androgynous with my appearance, being more feminine with my appearance, being born male, it actually made my dating life like better. Like, I want to say it's made my dating life like significantly better. Because as a boy, I just I could not connect well with other gay guys. Like it was weird. Like I was a gay guy, but I didn't feel like I connected with other gay guys. I didn't feel like I was a part of that community. It was super weird for me. I was like, why am I such an outcast in in this group I'm supposed to be in?
At what step did you feel like you were truly being yourself?
I had an epiphany. I was like, I cut my hair super short. I was wearing guy clothes, like button-ups and pants every day to school, trying to be like super masculine. Like I cut my long, beautiful hair and made it really short and ugly because I wanted to fit in with other gay guys. I wanted guys to like me for being a guy. And then one day I was like, you know what? Excuse my French. That I'm going to I'm going to wear makeup to school. I'm going to be super girly and feminine. I don't care if people don't like me for that.
Are there any words you find offensive?
I don't find a single word offensive. I believe that words only have as much power as you give to them. If you treat tranny and faggot and all that like a slur, it's going to be used as a slur against you. I find power in reclaiming words like that. Like, yes, I am a tranny. Like, what are you going to say about it? Like, what are you going to do about it, you know? You can't let what other people throw at you affect you.
What kind of struggles have you faced in public with your gender?
Struggles, I mean, I get the stares, you know, old white people looking at you like. One time though, some guy, they were driving by me and they threw a drink at me. And I was like, okay, like ow, like well not ow, but I was just like, fuck, I'm sticky. But other than that, there's been like no physical confrontation, just people giving me the side eye. I mean, who cares if people look at you? Like, you gotta just focus on yourself.
So, what's next for you?
What's next for me? I'm definitely wanting to move on with my transition, start laser hair removal, get some titties. Grow my hair out longer, go on hormones, hopefully get my voice a little higher because she's a little deep. And, you know, start working on my drag. I have a drag career that I'm wanting to pursue. I actually have a bunch of looks that I've already done online, but I haven't gone out to the clubs. So I'm wanting to make my looks more extravagant, go out and perform. I think drag is a super cool way to express yourself, no matter if you're trans, cis, or a biological woman.
If you were given the opportunity to tell your younger self one word of advice, what would it be?
I would just tell my younger self to just go with it. Like, I remember being in middle school, high school, I repressed myself so much. Heck, even as a younger kid, I repressed myself because my mom had a super abusive boyfriend and he did not like me being feminine in the slightest. I just wish I would have discovered who I was earlier. So I would have just told my younger self to just go with whatever I desire.
What's one word of advice you'd give to little boys and girls going through similar situations?
I would say just do it. I know I'm pulling a Shia LaBeouf right now, but you just gotta do it. If you want to wear a dress, then wear a dress. If you want to have short hair and wear a tuxedo or pants or boyish clothing, then I say do it. I say just express yourself however you see fit, and if other people don't approve of that, then like bye. You should be the only person that you depend on for happiness, and if you don't look how you want to look, or you're not expressing yourself, or you don't identify with who you are, then you're just not being true to yourself and you're not going to be happy. It just feels so much better just being who you want to be, expressing yourself however you want, and yeah, I just say do whatever you want, express yourself, don't repress yourself.